Hi YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's KG and Wearefootball, and today I'll be doing a review of Gameweek 2 from the matches of this weekend. I know Arsenal is still left to play. I'll be looking at three matches in particular. So we'll get into Spurs Man United, we'll get into Liverpool Bournemouth, as well as just the overall thoughts of West Ham and Chelsea. So let's get into it. As we know, Spurs beat Man United 2-0 this weekend at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There was a controversial moment in the game at 0-0 in the 25th minute where Garnacho's shot seemed to have been handled by Cristiano Romero. We already saw that last week in Chelsea-Liverpool, a penalty for Liverpool wasn't given in relation to a handball, and the same has happened for Man United this week. So I think we should just go back and read the rules of the game and just familiarize ourselves with what is handball and what isn't, because we don't know anymore, right? In this case, coming directly from the FA's website, Law 12, Fouls and Misconduct, specifically handling the ball, it reads that it is an offense if a player deliberately touches the ball with their hand or arm. For example, moving their hand or arm towards the ball. So in this case, does that apply? I don't think so. Why? Because although we can all agree that the ball definitely hits Romero's hand and arm, however, he doesn't do it intentionally. It is not done on purpose, and he doesn't specifically move his hand or arm towards the ball, maybe in this action, when the shot has been taken. Excuse me. So in that case, no, that doesn't apply. However, it also reads that it is an offense if a player touches the ball with their hand or arm when it has made their body unnaturally bigger. A player is considered to have made their body unnaturally bigger when the position of their hand or arm is not a consequence or justifiable by the player's body movement for that specific situation. By having their hand or arm in such a position, the player takes a risk of their hand or arm being hit by the ball and being penalized. And I think this is why the penalty should be given. Is Cristiano Romero's hand in a natural position? I do not think so. I think we know that these days, a lot of defenders, when they go for a block, maybe they'll have their hands behind their backs like this. I'm not saying they should always do that. It's a must, because that would be unfair to defenders. I'm not saying we should cut our hands and arms off and then play football. No, I'm saying that specifically in this case, the shot was a little bit of a distance away, and I do not believe Romero had any reason to have his hand in that position at the time of the shot, right? So that to me definitely makes his body unnaturally bigger, which is what has been specified on the text. And because of that, he's done it in a way that it's not justifiable, or it's not a consequence of his body movement for that specific situation. As I explained, he had no purpose of having his hands up. It's not like he was jumping, it's not like he was sliding or anything. So I don't understand why it wasn't given as a penalty, because it continues on by saying that by having their arm or hand in that position, the player takes the risk of being hit by the ball and being penalized. And he should know that. The defenders should know that. The ref should know that. And especially VAR should know that. I don't understand how VAR has let that slide. For some reason, someone said to me that it's like the best league in the world has the worst refs in the world, so we can speak about these incidents week in, week out. And maybe that's the case, because how have they missed this? How have they seen that, reviewed it 3 times and let it go? Because it's just unbelievable. VAR should remove these debates. It should make our lives easier, and we should be sure of what's taking place. But somehow things have just gotten worse. And overall thoughts, I think it was a tight game. I think Man United didn't perform as badly as people think that they did. Bruno Fernandes missed the sitter. He missed the one-on-one clear header from about 6 yards out. That's a contender for miss of the season. Those things happen. United were completely dominating the game in the first half for me. I think they created better chances at the time. And Anthony hit the post. I think Spurs also hit the post, but United dominated, and I don't think it was as totally controlled by Spurs as people think. I think if they also got a penalty, it's a game-changing decision. It's 1-0. They're in control of the game. Maybe, they get a second or something. But I do have my concerns. I think Casemiro is a little bit of a concern because I'm thinking maybe he's reached his peak, and anything from last season onwards is a slippery slope. At 31 on a 5-year contract for 70 million, it was always a risk that United did. He transformed them last season. Yes, I admit he was good, although he had some disciplinary issues. But in this case, I'm not sure how he best serves Man United going forward, especially in the long term. We know that also United are always vulnerable defensively. So Onana is always going to have to make some saves. They'll always concede a few goals. But I would say the main concern is up front. With Rashford playing up front as a 9, that doesn't work. It's literally a step back from all the progress that he made specifically last season. His best position is out on the left. I know that Rasmus Haaland, who they've bought for 70 million, is injured. So I'm assuming he will take his natural place up front when he starts. But I think why not play a proper striker so you can play Rashford on the left, play Martial. I'm still not sure what Anthony gives Man United. Sancho, Garnacho, all of them not necessarily good enough, especially when it comes to these games. And, you can see it. And sometimes these things are costly. So anyway, let's move on to Liverpool-Bournemouth. Liverpool routine win 3-1. There was also a controversial incident. Many people actually say that it shouldn't have been a red. And once again, let's go into the rules. Still rule number 12, right? Law number 12. Fouls and misconduct. There is a section that specifies what playing in a dangerous manner is. And it reads, playing in a dangerous manner is any action that, while trying to play the ball, threatens injury to someone, including the player themselves, and includes preventing a nearby opponent from playing the ball for fear of injury, right? So just keep that in mind as we continue, because there's another specific section with cautionable offenses and sending off offenses. And we're going to get into the part that is relevant. And it says a player who commits any of the following offenses is sent off. Any of the following: serious foul play and violent conduct. In this case, I could understand why a red card was given. We've already seen a red card given in the Burnley game in relation to something like this. And also, in this case, we saw McAllister was late when tackling the ball. He did not get the ball. His foot was high, his studs was up, and he made connection with the player. Is that playing in a dangerous manner? I think it is, because it does threaten injury to an opponent. Is that serious foul play? I think it is. Is it violent conduct? I don't necessarily think so, right? I don't think he went in extremely forcefully. I don't think it was a leg breaker. So because of that, I could understand the conversation of why it wasn't a red. However, the rules read that it's any, and it doesn't have to be life-threatening and reckless and dangerous and out of control, things like that. No. If it's considered serious foul play, that alone is enough to justify a red card from the official's perspective. Like I said, studs up, late on the tackle, foot was high. They could determine that as a red card, so I can exactly see the reason why it was given. Besides that, I think standard routine victory for Liverpool. However, let's get into the last thing that I want to talk about, which is West Ham versus Chelsea. Chelsea got beat by West Ham 3-1 after an outstanding performance by Reece James last week. The injury-prone defender crippled his team because he pulled his hamstring and was unavailable to play, and he won't be for a few months. We've all seen the meme. I'm going to put it up for you just in case. Anyway, I think just like Man United, it wasn't as bad as people think. I think Chelsea dominated the game. They missed a penalty themselves. They got a few chances that they didn't take. They controlled the game. However, West Ham were just clinical on the counter-attack. it wasn't as bad as it seems, but it is a bit of a concern. It's still a new coach. The team still has to adjust how they play. The starting 11 still needs to be sorted out. However, let's maybe talk into specifically about the Enzo penalty. Who is Chelsea's penalty taker this season? We don't know. I've never seen Enzo Fernandez take a penalty before. We know Raheem Sterling is not good with penalties because of his record. He's missed a few. Why not give Nicholas Jackson, their striker, a chance to put one up on the board and get his confidence up? Because I'm not specifically tolerating the Nicholas Jackson slander. I think he's a great player. He might not be world class. He didn't come for 80 million or anything. But based on the 2 games that I've seen, he's been amazing. Hold-up play has been good. He's very direct. He dribbles and he creates chances. The issue is that Chelsea create very few chances for him. Yes, maybe they'll create one clear chance for him on average per game, and he doesn't score it. He's not as efficient, but I don't think he's a bad player at all. And I would say Chelsea's problems are elsewhere. Like I said, defensively, they're still very vulnerable. You can get at Chelsea. And on the left wing, yes, Chukwuemeka scored, and it looks like he's going to, be starting for a few more games, especially after the good performance that he put in. But Mykhailo Mudryk, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. I think that's an international war crime, how Chelsea have been defrauded into paying 100 million for him, because I'm starting to question his ability. Like, I don't know what he can do. I really don't. Like, he's been so bad. He's been so poor for someone who's come in with high praise and a huge amount of money. Yes, he needs to settle, but he's had a year now, and every time he comes on, he just looks out of his depth. It's a shame, really. It seems like he shouldn't be playing at this level. You almost feel sorry for him. But yeah, besides that, Chelsea need to sort that out. However, Raheem the Dream, much improved. I know I've got at him, but much improved performance this weekend. He created some chances as well. He could have had an assist if the penalty wasn't saved. But besides that, I think Chelsea were decent, and I would expect Man United and Chelsea to get back on winning ways this weekend when they play, I would say, the lesser teams. United play Forest at home, and Chelsea also play Luton on Friday at home. So I'm expecting maybe for them to get back at it. That's it for the weekend. We can round up. Mount was terrible again. Gakpo as well. Challenging for that 007. I'm not going to let you guys forget that. We're watching Harvard's tonight. Don't forget. But we 2 games in for those, and we're getting closer. Besides that, have a good one.
Mauricio, I can't move it anymore. Mauricio.